Okay, so our next lesson is regarding small businesses and entrepreneurship. Now, can you remember what small businesses are? What entrepreneurship is? Can you remember it? මතකද එහෙම එකක් අපි කරා එකමත් එක කාලයක නේද හර්ෂිත් ඒ කාලේ අපි කරා නේද entrepreneurship and මේ small businesses මතකද මොන මං කියන්නේ කාලේ
මම නෑ කියන්නේ
කොහොමද කියන්නේ බෑනේ හිතමු
ඊට තුලින් මන්ත
හිතමු දැන් මේ පඩි ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා හරි what is entrepreneurship Lorraine? You always have an answer. What is entrepreneurship? Iman, what is entrepreneurship? ඒක මොකක්ද උනේ? Entrepreneurship කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Always have today. Okay. That is listening. Coming. Good one. Right. So entrepreneurship is the process, right? Entrepreneurship is the process of extracting or identifying, right? Entrepreneurship is the process of identifying the what market gaps, right? Identifying market gaps, identifying opportunities. Again, entrepreneurship is the process of identifying market gaps and identifying opportunities in the market. Okay. Again, all right. Entrepreneur can honestly, right? A person. He sees that there is a gap in the market or a problem. A problem. Then a problem can be a problem, yeah. A serious social issue, right? A serious economical issue, right? Because solution economical issue and never solution ever problem solution that is what you call a entrepreneurship, right? You come up with the solution for some burning issue, right? So that is where you start with entrepreneurship. You are giving an innovative product, right? You are giving an innovative product to the market to solve that particular issue. Innovative products, innovative ideas, all that. Social media, right? What about so what do you see? What is entrepreneurship? Like entrepreneurship opportunities. What are the opportunities that you have identified? The opportunities that you have identified that okay. While identify command when a cover identify then මෙතනින් පස්සේ ඔයාලා මොකද්ද එක්කෝ ජොබ් මාකට් එකට යනවා නැත්නම් යුනිවර්සිටි යනවා නැත්නම් ෆොරින් এডুকেෂන් වලට යනවා හයර් එඩුකේෂන් වලට යනවා එතකොට මේ මුව්මන්ට් වගේ කතාවන එහෙම ඉන්න එපා එළියට ගිහලා කතා කරන මිනිස්සු තමයි ඕනේ right දැන් කතා කරනවා කියලා මායිම කියන්නේ කතා කරනවා ඒක නෙමෙයි right you have to be interactive with everyone right නැත්නම් මේ මුව්මන්ට් වගේ කාටවත් පහවන ඉන්නවා මෙලොවරෙන්දක් දන්නේ නැහැ අර කියන්නේ පන්තිර වෙනවා මුල්ලකට දාලා ඉන්නවා කියන එකක් අහලා යනවා එයා ඔය ළඟ ඉන්න එක පෑනක් පන්දක් කිව්වොත් මෙහෙම දෙනවා තැන්ක් යූ කියනවා වෙල්කම් කියනවා ගියා එහෙම ඉතලා ඉන්නවා හැමෝමත් එක සෝෂියලයිස් වෙන්න කතා බහ කරන්න නෙට්වර්ක් හදාගන්න රයිට් එතකොට තමයි ඔයාලට මිනිස්සු එක්ක ඉස්සරහට උනාලා යනවා රයිට් එතකොට මුව්මන්ට් වගේ නිකන් ඔහෙ ඉන්න එපා හරි. So entrepreneurship is the process of extracting environmental opportunities creatively and generating innovative ideas while bearing risk, right? There's always a risk when it comes to entrepreneurship, and there is always a innovative idea when it comes to entrepreneurship. Then we have it. Entrepreneurship කිව්වම it is not always regarding brand new ideas. දැන් එකක් තියෙනවා. It is always about brand new solutions, right? Brand new innovations ගැනමද මේ කතා කරන්නේ. කියන්නේ මේක කලින් ලෝකෙ තිබෙම නැති දේවල් ගැනද මේ innovation එක කතා කරන්නේ. නෑ. Copy කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Innovation, right? Innovation can come like a copy as well. For example, then මතකද ඔයාලට මේ මම ගන්නකො මෙහෙම example එකක් දෙන්නම් copy කරන එකට restaurant එකක් ගන්නවා. right? මකයි food chain එකක් sorry මේ hotel chain එකක් ගන්නකො. right? hotel chain එකක අපි ගමු දැන් KFC වලින් මහරි innovative idea එකක් හැදුවා. right? KFC එකේ innovative food item එකක්. right? මේක කලින් කවුරු try කරලා නැහැ. ඒක copy කරලා තමයි pizza hut එකක ඒවල් මොන්තර එකක් කරනවා. That is okay. Right? That is also maybe kind of an entrepreneurship. එතන කියන්නේ ඒක අලුත්ම ජාති product එකක් අරන් එන්න පුළුවන්. අරන් copy කරලා අරන් inspire කරනවා. ඒකේ මෙයාට තව product එකක් අරන් එන්න. So okay, no problem. Right? Then maybe then මේ තියෙනවා face recognition වලින් phone unlock කරගන්න එක. දැන් මුලින් ආව කොහොමද ඒක? මුලින් ආව නිකන් අපේ ෆොටෝ එකක් like අපිට නිකන් කැමරා ඔන් වෙනවා. කැමරා ඔන් කරලා ස්කෑන් කරගන්න තියෙනවා. right? කැමරා ඔන් කරලා ස්කෑන් කරනවා. එතකොට අපේ මුල තියනවා නම් ෆෝන් එක ඔන් වෙනවා. like open වෙනවා. But like this let's say what do you call it? Apple face unlock was there. දැන් කට්ටිය කියනවානේ Apple එකේ face ID අරන් ගන්න ගමන් කට්ටිය කිව්වා අයියෝ Samsung had this 5 years ago. අයියෝ Huawei had this 12 years ago කියලා දැන් talk කරන්නේ. But if you see the technology that Apple uses when it comes to face ID is different. Right? That's the same concept. Mooning phone එක unlock කරන එක තමයි concept එක. That's the idea. But how they came up with that tech is different. That is the innovative part. So you come up with the innovative idea like තව කෙනෙක් කියලා copy කරන්න. copy කරන්න කමක් නැහැ. ඊට වඩා හොඳ විදිහට ඒ output එකක් දෙන්න දාන්න. So that is where entrepreneurship comes. Okay? Now entrepreneurship and business. Are these two same? Are these two different? Businessman can have the organic. Who is a businessman and who is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ new business එකක් කරන කෙනෙක්. Businessman කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ තියෙන business එකක් කරගෙන. Then for example let's say දැන් මෙයා තමයි එළවලු කඩයක්. right? මෙයා එළවලු කඩයක් කරාම sales. right? Yeah, good enough sales. එළවලු ගමේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය නෑ කියන එළවලු නෑ. වෙන එළවලු කඩයක් නෑ. ඉන්නවද? මොකද නම් හරි. අපිට එළවලු කරන ලාභයක් තියෙනවා. What I do? I also start. මෙයා දාලා මෙයාගේ එහාටත් දානවා මෙයාත් එළවලු කඩයක්. දැන් business මොකද වෙන්නේ? business එක කැටගරි. ඔයාලට කට්ටියද මාර්කට් නෑ කාට. Isn't it good if we came up with something like a fish related items? මාළු කඩක් වගේ දෙන්න. කියන්නේ උදේට මිනිස්සු යනවා අර මනුස්සයා කඩෙන් එළවලු ගන්නවා. මේ මනුස්සයා කඩේ මාළු ගන්නවා. මාළු ගන්න යනවා. So that is okay. But businessman එයා නෑ businessman මාළු ගන්නන්නේ. එයා ගන්නේ මාළු කඩ පටන් ගන්න මට කරන්නේ නෑ. අර මනුස්සයා එළවලු කරන්නේ. එළවලු වැඩේ ලේසි. අර මනුස්සයාට දාලා තියෙනවා දැන් මාළු පටන් ගන්න කියලා අන්න එළවලු කඩක් කරනවා. Almost every business you see is like that. Right? අර මනුස්සයාගේ මෙහෙම business තියෙන්නේ අනිත් එක මොනවද කරන්නේ? මාත් ඒක කරනවා. Right? ඒ concept එක තමයි. Now when you go to this pyramid, right? pyramid ගියාම ඔය scene එක තියෙනවා. එකේ පටන් ගන්නවා මාස් පටන්. හා ඊට පස්සේ එන්න හැම එකම බස් කරනවා පටන් ගන්න. දැන් තියෙන දිගටම තියෙන්නේ pyramid වල ගත්තා one shot. දැන් කොයි එකටද කියලා පොඩි කාගෙන්ද ගන්න කියලා දාගන්න. right? කන්නඩි දාගන්න බෑනේ. හරි. ගුටි ගන්න. ඇයි පේපර් එක කරේ නැද්ද? කරන්නේ. එහෙනම් ගහන්න. Right. Okay. Now, entrepreneurship and business are closely connected. Like entrepreneurship and business are closely connected, but there is a difference. Right? Business. Entrepreneurship and business are in difference with all entrepreneurs are not sorry, all entrepreneurs are businessmen, but not all businessmen are entrepreneurs. Again, entrepreneurs are more businessmen, right? Like every entrepreneur will become a businessman. But all the businessmen are not becoming entrepreneurs, right? So that's the difference between this. Okay. For example, let's say, let's make a basic example I have done not. Ravina is having a fruit stall. Like again, පළතුරු කඩේ. මොනවද කරන්නේ? එයා පළතුරු ගෙනල්ලා ඒ වගේ පළතුරු juice එක, right? She is making fruit juice out of it. She is adding value to the product. මෙයා කරන්නේ මොනවද? පළතුරු කඩයක් විතර ගෙනල්ලා කරනවා sell කරනවා. But what she is doing is she is coming up with a fruit juice stall. කියන්නේ එතන පොඩි entrepreneurship එකක් තියෙනවා. එයා කරනකොට මෙයා වෙනස් වෙනවා. Maybe she is adding a scoop of ice cream. She is adding some cherries, maybe some other butter, right? Add කරලා innovative විදිහට product එක introduce කරනවා. So that is kind of entrepreneurship there. Or maybe you come up with a different business concept. Then may අපි brownies ගත්තේ කොහොමද? How do you buy brownies? Huh? From a shop, right? Okay. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට brownies purchase කරන අර ගෙවල් වල හදන කට්ටියනේ. ගෙවල් වල හදන කට්ටියගෙන් අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? WhatsApp එකේ මෝඩ් එකක් දාලා. WhatsApp එකේ යාලා සෙල් කරන්නේ. That's the market that is it. ඒ WhatsApp එකේ status එකක් දානවා මොනවාද? brownies හෙට brownies හදන අද order. That's the basic way how they do business. But have you seen this in TikTok? අර මේ ළඟදී business එකක් ආවා දෝසිනාම කියලා. දෝසිනාම කියලා. අර කැරමල් පුඩින් එකක් විකුණන එක. Like that. One person started, right? One person started that caramel pudding concept. ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවාද? දැන් caramel pudding සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පාරෙන් කරනවද කි? පාරේ කඩවලින් caramel pudding කරන් දිනවද නැහැ. අර caramel packet එක අරගෙන ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා ගෙදර කාට හරි කියලා හදාගන්න. That is the basic way. But the difference is now දැන් මේ පාරේ අර කෑලි කපලා අරගෙන යන බෑග් පැණික වැක්ස් කරගෙන යන සාධික නැති දෙන්නේ. Now someone started that. And other people started to copy as well, copy කරන්න කියලා එනවා වලියකුත් ගියා, right? That's a different story. Now see, then we brownies කියන එකත් තමයි. මම දැක්ක එක වීඩියෝ එකක් තිබ්බා මේ ගෝල් වල, right? ගෝල් වල මේ වයිද ෆෝට් එක තියෙන ගෝල් ෆෝට් එක තියෙන කොළඹ පොට්ටු ගාලා. So නම් කොළඹ මේ ගෝල්, right? ගෝල් ෆෝට් එක ගන්න, right? ගෝල් ෆෝට් එක ගන්න මොනවාද පොඩි කාට් එකක් දාලා, right? පොඩි කාට් එකකින් පොඩි ෆුඩ් කාට් එකක්. ඒ ෆුඩ් කාට් එකේ බ්‍රවුනීස් තිබුණා. ඒ ෆුඩ් කාට් එකේ අර මොනවාද බ්‍රවුනීස්, ඊට පස්සේ ගුලාබ් ජාමුන්, ඊට පස්සේ මොනවාද වට්ලාපම්, right? ඒ වගේ දේවල් දාලා එන්න තිබුණා. මුස්ලිම් කෙනෙක් මාරයි. යාළුවාගේ ජොබ්ස් ටිකක් අතහැරලා දාලා මෙන්න මේක පටන් ගන්න දෙන්න. එයාගේ ජොබ් එකත් මාත්‍ර පටන් ගන්න. මිනිස්සු නේද? ඉන්නවා. ඒක කරනවා. දැන් මොන ලෝකෙද කියලා බ්‍රවුනිස් ගන්න අපි පොඩි මේකදී ඈ පොඩි මේකලා බ්‍රවුනිස් ගන්නවා පොඩි මේකලා අස්ලක්කම් ගන්නවද නෑ හැබැයි මිනිස්සු එනවා right maybe trend එකට right so she is setting the trend එයා කාගේ trend එක follow කරනව නෙමෙයි she is setting a trend okay එතකොට ඔයාලා දකින්න pink and white card එක pink and white card එක ඒක විදිහට එයා පටන් ගන්නවා and the funny thing is I have a cousin කියන්නේ මට දුව වගේ හරි 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 අහන්නද even like they started to copy that concept දැන් යාළුවා දැන් copy කරලා මේ මේරිගම රෝඩ් එකේ දාලා දිනා අයිනේ පෙරියම් වල මේරිගම පාර ඒක තමයි එයා shop cart open කරලා තියෙනවා by copying that concept. Right? So that particular person, එයා මොකක්ද එයාගේ entrepreneurship එක මේ food cart concept. එයා ඒක අරගෙන ඉන්නවා. එයා ඒකෙන් brownies අනම්මන sell කරනවා. Right? And then she starts sell. So ඒක රමණා කියන්නේ. brownies කියන එක කලින් තිබ්බ නැද්ද? තිබ්බා. වටලාම කලින් තිබ්බ නැද්ද? තිබ්බා. Only difference is how they sell it. Right? How they sell, they have changed them. That is the entrepreneurial concept that they have. Right? Okay. ඒකම copy කරලා මෙයාත් මෙහෙ පටන් ගන්නවා. මෙයා මෙහෙ නිගම් දැන් නිගම් වල එහෙම එකක් තිබ්බේ නෑ නිගම් වල. එහෙම copy කරාට කමක් නෑ. Right? ඔයා දකින්නවා මොනවාද? දුබායි වල තියෙන මොකක්ද business model එක. You copy it here, you start it here. No issue. ඒක entrepreneurship තමයි. Right? ඒකට අපි කියනවා මොනවද? Imitative entrepreneurship. Right? You call it as imitative entrepreneurship. Yes. Now the difference between entrepreneur and business. Entrepreneurship and businesses are closely connected, but they play different roles. They play different roles. Business is the broad activity of producing, distributing goods and services to satisfy human needs. What does businesses do? They produce and distribute goods and services. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's a specific type of business activity that focuses on identifying new opportunities, managing risk, introducing innovation. Right? They just do general businesses, but here you are coming up with identifying opportunities, generating ideas, managing risk. Right? On a day. You can think of entrepreneurship as the creative process that often leads to the formation of a business. In fact, the end result of entrepreneurship is usually a business. However, because entrepreneurship requires elements like innovation and risk taking, right? The difference between entrepreneurship and businesses, innovation and risk taking, right? The innovative part and the risk taking is the concept that differentiates businesses from entrepreneurship. Businessmen are not innovative. Businessmen not කරන්නේ. එයාට බලන්නේ less path එක. Traditional easy path එකක් හොයාගන්න තමයි යාළුවා. Right? Right? Businessman generally wants to have a easy path, but entrepreneur he wants to take a risk and go into a new business model. Right? So we say all enterprises are businesses, but not all businesses are enterprises. A standard business doing the same thing without new innovation is just a business, while a venture that innovates and manages risks is an enterprise. Okay, so that is the difference between, or that is the relationship between entrepreneurship and businesses. හතර ලේසියද? අමාරුයි. ඔයාලගේ තුනේ ලකුණු නැහැ. තුනේ කාගේවත් 85 උඩින් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. Did you do the paper? Ingrid. Paper. Oh. Right. Give it. කබඩ් එකේ දාලා අනිවාර්ය. Right? අනිවාර්ය. Huh? Right? Passage. Okay. Steps in entrepreneurship. Right? Now, when it comes to entrepreneurship, there are some steps that we have to follow. Right? There are some steps that we have to follow. One is discovery. What is discovery? The first step in entrepreneurship. Discover. That is you identify the problem in farm. Right? Here you identify the problem or the market gap. Solution එකක් තිබුණා. Now I'll give an example. What do you call this? For example, we will take sticky notes. Like one example like class එකේ කියලාදී sticky notes ගන්නවා. Sticky notes වල concept එක මොකක්ද? What is the thing about sticky notes? They had a product from 3M. 3M is a company comes here, 3M is a company is sticky notes are running. So they call it as post-it. अब sticky notes की वाले original name में का post-it. Okay. So thing is, they originally wanted to produce a gum, a super glue, right? They wanted to come up with a super glue, which they are using to aircraft पुनः use करने gum में आता है यार आगे छोड़ होंगे. But unfortunately, the scientists end up with a gum which doesn't stick. Alloy नती alloy पुलांग gum है. Alloy पुलांग alloy नती gum में आता है यहाँ आगे. So he went to the company, right? He went to the company and said, "Here, make alloy what alloy in there. Alloy, right? Alloy में alloy no, but alloy. Right? इसे में gum में आगे alloy ना पुलांग प्रश्न है, right? Then if you want company का उत्तर किसको देगा? Bangalore, right? Now, for 5 years, the product is waste, right? The product is किसी में provision करते नहीं. But one day there was a musician. When musician करें किन्ना? Right? There was a musician, right? So this musician here, he won't ever think of it. Not the board देगा. Like the notes තියාගන්න යාලා musical notes තියාගන්න අන්න යාගේ board එක තියාගන්න අන්න ඒක යාලා notes තියාගන්නකොට වැඩ තියෙන්නේ those notes are going everywhere යාලා bookmark කරගන්න බෑ notes පැටලෙනවා එහාට මෙහාට යනවා එහෙම කාරණා so he was like telling මට මේක අවුල් මෙහෙම notes තියාගන්න එක අවුල් මට මොකද solution එකක් ඕන කියලා then the scientist who found this gun he is telling I have solution try this කියලා යාලා පස්සේ බලද්දී ඒක තමයි එයාගේ පොතේ සොලියුෂන් එක. මොකද එයාගේ ගම්මරක් තිබ්බා කියලා පේපර් එක සවුත් වෙනවද? ඒ ගම්මරේ තිබ්බා කියලා පේපර් එක සවුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි නිකන් අර බහිඳ ගමනක් හරි මොන හරි දැම්මම පේපර් එක නිකන් අර හැකිලා යනවා. But that doesn't happen in this what do you call sticky notes. Okay? So එතන එයා try කරලා බලනවා that is good. But then company එක ගිහලා කියනවා 3M company එක ගිහලා කියනවා මෙහෙම product එකක් තියෙනවා අපි try කරලා බලමු. company එක කියන කිසිද ඕක කවුද ගන්නෙ? ඇලවෙන්න ඇති අලවන්න පුළුවන් ගම්මයක් කවුද ගන්නෙ? no one wants to buy. ඇලවෙන්න ඇති ගම්මයක් ගන්න කාටවත් උමනාවක් නැහැ. So they reject it. So what do they do is අර sticky notes හදලා. දැන් ඔයාලා දකින්න sticky notes මොන පාට? දැන් නම් පාට තියෙනවා. If someone comes up with a sticky note. ඔයාලා Google එකේ හරි sticky notes කියලා search කරාම මොන පාටද එන්නේ? කහ. ඒ කහ පාට. Even the yellow color is a mistake. Even the yellow color is a mistake. ඇයි? එයාලා මොකද කරන්නේ? දැන් sticky notes හදන්න ඕනේ. එයාලා යාළුවෝ කඩේ ගිහලා print shop එක. නැත්නම් stationery shop එකක් තියෙනවා. එහෙ තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ කහ පාට කොළ විතරයි. right? එහා පැත්තේ කඩේ තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ right? press එකේ තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ කහ පාට කොළ විතරයි. මේ කහ පාට කොළ තමයි එයාලා cut කරලා sticky note එක හදන්නේ. Now what do they do is අර musician එයාගේ office එකක් තියෙනවා. office එකේ කට්ටියට අර කහ පාට sticky note pad එක free බෙදලා. නිකන් බෙදලා. මේක use කරලා බලන්න. office එකේ notes එහාට මෙහාට share කරන්න එක එකනාට notes දෙන්න use this කියලා දෙනවා. Then only it started to fire. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි මොනවද? කට්ටියට මේක හුරු වෙන්න ගත්තා. sticky notes use කරාම වැඩේ කරගන්න notes pass කරන්න ලේසි. Then only they started to initialize this product. So they say, I'm sorry, කියොත් දැක්කේ මේ ගම් එක හොයාගෙන අර ඇලවෙන්නේ නැති අවන්න නම් ගම් එක හොයාගෙන අවුරුදු 10කට පස්සේ තමයි යාලා මාකට් එකට එන්නේ. After 10 years. So that means එච්චර කාලෙක යාලා concept එක develop කරලා තියෙනවා. First they discovered. What is the discovery area? They identified there is a opportunity. They identified that ගම් එක හොයාගත්තා. හැබැයි මේ ගම් එකට use case එක හොයාගත්තේ. You have the solution. මම solution එක දෙනවා. හැබැයි solution එක මොනවද use කරන්නේ? මේක හොයාගෙන තිබ්බේ. අර musician තමයි ඒ solution එක හොයාගන්නේ. ඒ identification එක කරන්නේ. The discovery happens when the musician wants a bookmark, right, to keep his notes. That is the discovery point. And then for 10 years time, they are developing the concepts. They are like office එක try කරලා බලනවා, when products එක try කරලා බලනවා. Right? එයාලා කට්ටියට free of charge products දීලා බලනවා. Right? So that is their concept developed. And then third one. What is the third stage? Discovery, friendship development. Third one is resourcing. What is resourcing? Collecting the land, labor, right, and other necessary factors of production to conduct the business. Right? All the land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, factors of production, you can start to do the business. That is what we call as resources. Fourth stage, actualize this. Right? So in actualization, after you have started producing, like after you have started producing, now you launch the business, right? All of that business again, sales, right? Start to do sales. You start to do the business. You start to do sales. You start to do marketing, right? You now actualize your concept, right? You're actualizing your concept, and then the next stage, the last one, is harvest. Now let's say you became successful, right? Our business is successful now. You come to a point where you think about, okay, should I expand? Right? Should I expand my business? Right? Should I franchise my business? Should I sell my business now? දැන් මට business කරා ඇති මම තව මේක කාට හරි විකුණනවා. නැත්නම් මම මේක තව develop කරනවා. right? අන්න ඒ point එකට එන එකට අපි කියනවා මොනවාද harvesting කියලා. right? Clear? So what are the 5 stages of entrepreneurship? Tell me. Discovery, concept development, resourcing, actualization, and harvest. Right? Those are the 5 stages of entrepreneurial process. Okay. And yeah. Right. Dhirani, is it lagging? Dhirani වල ඇහෙන අත්තද? ඒක අනිත් පණ. මේ දෙන්නට දෙන්න. So the next one is regarding the characteristics of entrepreneurship. The characteristics of entrepreneurship. Willingness to take risks. So if you are an entrepreneur, you should be having the gut to take risk. Right? You should have the appetite to get or to take risk. එළවන තමන් නෑගේ පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. දැන් මේ නාම ඩිවයිසන් 17 දාට ඉස්සෙල්ලා බලක් ඉහළ කරනක ඔයාලට රිස්ක් එක ගන්න පුළුවන් අවුලක් නෑ. ඇතිවොත් නැති වෙන්න මොනවාද? නම්බර බලාගෙන ගෑරික් වල බලාගෙන බලාගෙන ළමයි ඉන්නවානේ. අයිනේ. That's the right. Then අපි මේ කාලේ එකක් කෙලවුණාට කමක් නෑ, right? In your 20s, in your early 20s or in your early 30s කෙලවුණාට කමක් නෑ. ඒතකොට බය වෙන්න නැතුව කෙලවුණක් කමක් නෑ කියලා ඔයාලා business idea එකක් තියෙනවා, right? Maybe if you have a business idea කෙලවුණක් කමක් නෑ කියලා පටන් ගන්න. right? අතෝ මේ මම සල්ලි දාලා ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරලා පටන් ගත්තට පස්සේ මේක කෙලවුණොත් දාපු සල්ලිත් අපරාධනේ. Don't be in that mindset. If it is get succeeded, yeah, okay. කෙලවුණොත් ඒත් okay. You learned the lesson. right? ආයේ business model එක වාට හරියන්නේ නැහැ. වාර්තා business model එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්. එක මාස එක business එකක් අවුරුද්දක් try කරලා බලන්න. මාස 6ක් අවුරුද්දක් එක business එකක් try කරලා බලන්න. මේක set වුණොත් කරගෙන යන්න. ඒක කැලුණොත් right right ඒක කැලුණොත් මොකද වෙන බිස්නස් එකකට try කරන්න right වෙන බිස්නස් මොඩල් එකක් try කරන්න එහෙනම් මේ එකම එකේ නිකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ maybe like if you see a potential right we see a potential okay this will become successful in maybe another 5 years එතකොට you can stick to it right ඔයාලගේ එහෙම විෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් එන්නේ බිස්නස් එකට මා full attention එක දීලා ඉන්න අවුලක් නැහැ හැබැයි මොනවාද රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්න බයයි සල්ලි දාපුවා කැලවේද කියලා බයයි එන්න එහෙම ඉන්න එපා right අර හදිස්සියෙන් ගත්ත කාය ගම් මේ අද සල්ලි දාලා හෙට ලක්ෂ 10ක් වැය කරගන්න එහෙම කරන්න බෑ right there are courses like courses තියෙනවා මොනවාද if you invest 20,000 today next week we will make it 25,000 you know another week we will make it 50,000 එහෙම රෙද්දවල් නෑ හරි එහෙ පාස්නාද ඔන්න පළවෙනි මාසේ හම්බෙයි හරි පළවෙනි මාසේ හම්බෙයි ඊට පස්සේ හම්බෙන්නේ ගන්නේ ඔයාලා පළවෙනි මාසේ කට්ටිය තියාගන්න ඒක එහෙම දෙනවා right එහෙම නැත්නම් එහෙම රෙද්දවල් නෑ okay නේද දන්නවනේ අර එදා කිව්වේ හා creativity right so the next one is creativity are you guys creative ඔයාලා creative do you I am creative then ChatGPT Gemini ආවට පස්සේ ඒ creativity එක තිබ්බ creativity එක වෙන ගහලා ගියා right now everyone is now using AI and those models okay commitment right you need to have a commitment මේක ගොඩක් කටියට නෑ right ගොඩක් කටියට නැත්නම් මොකද commitment කියන්නේ to stick to a plan right if you are an entrepreneur you need to stick to a plan you need to keep trying on this එක දවසක් පොඩ්ඩක් හිට මෙහෙට වෙච්ච ගමන් මට බැහැ ඒක දමලා ගන්න එහෙම බෑ right even I have a friend right ඒ මොනසත් මොනවාද මේ පටන් ගන්නම full සද්දේ right පටන් ගන්නකම් full සද්දේ පටන් ගන්න දවස් දෙකක් යනකොට මේක හරියන්නේ නැහැ මේක හරියන්නේ නැහැ මේක වෙනකම් බලන්න like අන්න එහෙම බෑ right you have started it you have to give the full what you call focus right you have to be full committed to what you are doing එහෙම නැතු පටන් ගත්ත ගමන් සේල් එකක් වුණ නැත්නම් පටන් ගත්ත ගමන් කවුරුත් ආවේ නැත්නම් මේක හරියන්නේ නැහැ වෙනකම් බලමු එන්න එහෙම ඉන්න එපා right and then the next one is self confidence you need to trust about yourself right you need to have if you have self doubting right ඔයාලා doubt කරනවා අනේ මට මේක පුළුවන්ද එහෙම වෙලා ඉන්නකොට it is not an entrepreneur right so you need to be self confident you have to be self reliant means what reliance කියන්නේ මොනවද self reliance rely කියන්නේ මොනවද rely depending so you are self dependent right ඔයාලා නම් තමයි dependent right you are relying on your skills right you are relying on your own skills you are not expecting others to come and help right ඒක කියනවා මම බිස්නස් පටන් ගත්තා මාව බේර ගන්න කවුරු හරි ඉන්නේ මට කියලා වෙද්දි කවුරු හරි ඉන්නේ එහෙම නෑ පුතා තම හිතට තමාටම ස්තේවන්නේ ඒකේ නේද ගන්න නැත්නම් දෙවම වෙන්නේ වාගේ දැන් ජීවිත උදාන්නෙත් නෑ නෝ මාත් මේක යවගත්තා හරි now skills of entrepreneurs ගත්තොත් මතක කරනවා you need to be a good leader right leadership දැන් මතකද leadership මතකද කවුද කරේ ඊයවරුන්ද අස්තිර හාල් කරන්නේ නැකොත් මේ මාසේ කරේ මේ මාසේ මුලක් බං කරේ 12th lesson තමයි management වල කරේ ඇති මේ මාසේ මුල ගියවද කොහොමද right so we started leadership this month right interpersonal skills දැන් මම කලින් කිව්ව interpersonal skills නේද communicate මොලෙන් විතර කතා කරගෙන ඉන්න යන්න එපා දැන් මේ මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරන්න right මොලෙන් විතර කතා කරගෙන ඉන්න අනිත් මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න දැන් ආල් ඉන්න විතර කතා කරගෙන ඉන්න එපා අනිත් මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක interact වෙන්න right so Sierra are you having good what you call interpersonal skills or are you like an introvert නෑ මම කාත් එක්කවත් කතා කරන්නේ නෑ කවුරු හරි මාත් එක්ක කතා කරොත් මම කතා කරනවා එහෙම සීන් එකේ ඉන්නේ ඒක සායි අන්නත් so don't be like that wherever you go, you make friends, right? another interpersonal connection එක ඕන, right? ඇයි එහෙම කියන්නේ? one day when you can connect ඕන එක, right? About your interpersonal skills. Like interpersonal skill right there communication, right? You are talking with friends ලත් එක්ක කතා කරනවා අන්න talking. Now one day if I go to Minogue and if my bike comes, right, if I face a problem with my bike or something, if I need to find someone somewhere a place, I can call him, right? මම මිනිහෙන් අහනවා ඉමාත් මේ මට මෙතන හොයාගන්න ඕන මේ තැන කොතනද තියෙන්නේ, right? Now even I once I wanted to go to Riverstone. The මාතලේනේ. දැන් මාතලේ මම අඳුරන එකෙක්වත් නැහැ. හැබැයි මගේ ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් හිටියා මාතලේ. මම මිනිහට කෝල් එකක් ගහලා ආවා මේ what is the flight rate යනවා. දැන් දන්නේ නැහැ මේ ට්‍රිප් එකක් යනකොට මොනවා වගේද කියලා. වහිනවද නැද්ද කින්දමන්ද, right? So we can call him and ask, okay, මාතලේ මොකක්ද situation එක? එන්න පුළුවන්ද යන්න පුළුවන්ද, right? So that is what having interpersonal skills, right? So you need to build the contacts. කවදානේ මොනේ නම් කියන්නේ. Right? දැන් ඔයාලා හිතන්න දැන් ඔයාලගේ හැම තියෙනවා. මම අර මොනසද කතා කරන්නේ. මම ඇත්ත එක තාම. ඇයි මොකටද මේ කොල්ලෝක නම් ඕනේ කොල්ලෝනේ ගොඩක් ගන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නෑ. ඒ කොල්ලෝ නම් ඕනේ කෙනෙක් කතා කරනවා. කෙල්ලෝ එහෙම නෙවෙයි. right? ඒකේ වෙන්නන්න බෑ. ජීවිතේට වෙන්නන්න. right? අන්න එහෙම. right? Don't be like that. right? නේද? ඔයාලගේ skills හදාගන්න. right? Everyone is needed at some point in your life. And then you need to have basic communication skills, management skills, so those are your entrepreneurial skills that you should have. Now, what if you don't have skills? Then, how can you build skills? First, you need to know what you have and what you don't have. How do you find it? මට තියෙන skills මොනවද මට නැති skills මොනවද කියලා හොයාගන්නේ කොහොමද? By self-evaluation, by understanding yourself, right? You need to do a self-evaluation. How can I do a self-evaluation? Then තියෙනවා මේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකට ගියාම Google එකේ තියෙනවා self-evaluation test ටේ. right? මේ ටෙස්ට් එකක් කරාම ඔයාලට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයා මොන වගේ මිනිස්සෙක්ද? ඔයාලට තියෙන skills මොනවද කියලා. ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ. You fill up those questions and you need to get to know about yourself, right? So you can do that self-evaluation. Or maybe you can go for training. Like කතා කරන්න නම් බැරි. තා මිනිස්සුන්ගේ කතා කරන්න බැරි නම් communication skills, if your communication skills are bad, you can go for training. Like for example, මොනවාද කියමුකෝ. දැන් ඔය Toastmasters club දන්නවද? Toastmasters. නැත්නම් gavel clubs. So what is that? For public speaking, right? That is for public speaking. If someone is having troubles in talking to others, right? The monitor නැගිටලා ගෙන කතා කරන්න කියන මේ හැමෝමත් එක්ක. එහෙම නෙමෙයි, right? So ස්ටාර්ට් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒක අවුලක් නෑ. ස්ටාර්ට් වෙන්න පුළුවන් අවුලක් නෑ. But අර මොනවාද කියන්නේ? ඕවර් ස්ටාර්ට් වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ, right? You need to have the confidence to talk. And a stage එකකට නැග්ගුවම විනාඩි 5ක් ඉඳන් කලන්ත දාලා වැටෙනවා, right? Stage එකෙන් බැහැර යනකොට මෙහෙම දාඩිය වැක්කෙනවා. එහෙම ඉන්නවා කට්ටිය. right? එහෙම කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. right? Once when I was in my university, we have this presentations, right? අපිට ඔය assignments වල presentation එක. ඒතර මගේ යාළුවෝ ඉන්නවා. එයාලා page ඉස්සරහට ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරනකොට the thing is you can't look into papers. කටපාඩම් දෙන්නත් බෑ. What you have to do is slide එකෙන් මොනවද කියන එක explain කරන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි හැමෝටම බෑ. So some people come with papers. ඉස්සරහට කතා කරලත් නැහැ. කොලේ බලා ගන්නවා. කියනවා. Actually, right? හැබැයි ඉන්නේ කොහමද? 100කට ගහන්න. 100කට ගහන්න කතාව. right? මම තරම් ගැරියෙක් මේ ලෝකේ නෑ වගේ සීන් එකක් ඉන්නේ. හරි? අර අතන ගිහලා ඉස්සරහට exactly මෙහෙම හොඳට සෝස් එකක්. That is what not having confidence. එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ. right? මාත් එහෙම කාලයක් හිටියා. ඒ කියන්නේ කාලයක් කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ මම උගන්නන්නේ නෑනේ. අනිලාලේ කරන්නේ. අනිලාලේගේ දවසක් තිබ්බ මේ මොකක් හරි වර්ක්ෂොප් එකක්. ඒ වර්ක්ෂොප් එකට ගිහිල්ලා කතා කරා. කතා කරනවා නෙමෙයි. like my brother called right අපි අයගෙන තමයි ඒක ඕගනයිස් කරේ. මූවයිල මට කිව්වා මේ ස්පීච් එකක් කරන්න. මම මලාට ස්ටේජ් එකට නැගලා ස්පීච් එකක් කරා. දැන් ආර්ක කස්පාඩම් කරලා මම ගිහිල්ලා ඒ ස්ටේජ් එකට නැගලා අන්න ගිනගගගගගග right. I have not seen that size of a crowd. Like a crowd දැන් මම දැකලා. ඔක්කොම after all වල තමයි හිටියේ. after all ළමයි. but මම එහෙම crowd එකක් දැකලා නැහැ. ඉතින් මේ මොනවාද කතා කරනකොට ඉතින් වෙවුලනවා. right. but later on මේ ක්ලාස් කරන්න පටන් ගත්තට පස්සේ දැන් කතා කරන්න යනවා. දැන් එහෙම අවුලක් නැහැ. ඇයි ඒ practice වෙලා right. when I do the same thing again and again what happens? job specialize වෙනවා. ඒ specialization එක තමයි දැන් ඕන එක ඕන then control like that. Right. So education, experience, and role models. Maybe you can have role model. What is role models now? मैं कहाँ नया अभी हाँ हाँ मैं कहाँ नया आगे ना इले रोल मॉडल लगती है सामार आइडिया थी मैं कहाँ अभी हम अभी ताप तो राइट रत्न कवर नागरिक खाली इन रोल मॉडल है हाँ मैद नो रोल मॉडल अयो this bloody internet that's गया ना fiber क्या बोलूँ कि ना तन्ने now apart from those things right apart from evaluating yourself apart from training apart from education and apart from other role models right you can train yourselves in different ways as well and now we'll see what are the types of entrepreneurship so there are two main types of entrepreneurship that we are going to discuss that is global entrepreneurship social entrepreneurship green entrepreneurship and intra entrepreneurship. So what is global entrepreneurship? It is using the technology to conduct innovative business trade across international borders regardless of location. Now see starting that one. What is starting? What is starting? Huh? What the starting can? Imagine. Starting can remember? Huh? What did I right? What do you get out of it? What did you have in internet, right? Basically, internet का क्या सीन है? दावी बड़ा कटिंग ना इसका फाइबर, वाईफाई यूज़ कर, तो रेगन ना में वायर कनेक्शन निकालती है. But this is a satellite-based internet connection, right? There are लोगों की कोहे की टिया, वाटर connect करने पड़ो, right? लोगों की कोहे टिया वाटर connect करने पड़ो अंदर था वो starting internet क्या? So that is an innovative product based on what? Technology. अगर मैं Elon Musk में product का रंगे an innovative product which can be used by the entire world. वो लोग तो उन्हें start बोला यह product है तब में so that is what you call global entrepreneurship. And next one, social entrepreneurship. Using innovation to solve problems with the primary goal of serving society rather than just making a profit. मैं मेरे examples बना दूँने क्लास से Harshit. What is the social entrepreneurship that we have discussed? Right? आप discuss कर entrepreneurship पे इस्लाम. Right? What is social entrepreneurship? විවිධ මේ ඇත්තට වැඩ කරනවා. සවුන්ඩ් වැඩ කරනවා. Like every Monday, this is the issue. Like when I connect with the fiber, it is not getting connected. When I connect with my mobile hotspot, it is connected. Mobile hotspot දුන්නම signal මාදි. උතුම කරදරය. We'll see another option. Glide X දාලා බලමු. Okay. Right, tell me, what is social entrepreneurship? Social entrepreneurship කියන්නේ මොනවාද? Huh? Social entrepreneurship. So, for example, there was a issue in Pakistan, I guess, right? Pakistan or Bangladesh, I can't remember the country. So, එහෙ තිබ්බ issue එකක් තමයි people they are unable to get loans. Right? People when they want to do businesses, they are unable to get loans. Loans ගන්න මාර කරදරයි. Banks වලින් loans එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ ලේසි. So, for this problem, a person came up with a solution. They call it as Grameen Bank. Right? ඔයාලා අහලා තියෙන්නේ මේ ලංකාවෙත් තියෙනවා. Right? Grameen Bank කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. What do they do? Right? What happens there is they give, right? This Grameen Bank, they give loans to people, right? Who doesn't have any collateral, right? එයාලා collateral එකක් නැති මිනිස්සුන්. collateral කියන්නේ මොනවද? අපේට තියන්න මොකුත් නැත්තම්, right? asset එක මොකුත් නැතුව ඉන්න කට්ටිය. ඒ වගේ කට්ටියට without any collateral they give loans at a low interest rate. This is the social entrepreneurship. What is this? The problem is the society, the people, they are suffering to get, right? They are kind of finding it difficult to get loan from the banks. So what do the bank do? They give loans without any collateral. So they are helping the society. This is what we call as social entrepreneurship. You look for the betterment of the society, right? You don't think about profits. You look at the betterment of the society. This is what we call social entrepreneurship. And then green entrepreneurship is engaging in business activities specifically designed to protect the environment positive. Right? කියන්නේ environment එකට positive impact එකක් දෙන්න හදපු දෙයක් තමයි green entrepreneurship. Any examples? දැන් මේ exam එකේ describe කරන්න explain entrepreneurship types of entrepreneurship කියලා හුවොත් definition එක විතරක් දාලා හරියනවද? නෑ. examples දාන්න ඕන. Right, you have to come up with examples. ඒකයි examples කියන්නේ examples කියනකොට ලියා ගන්න. examples ලියාගත්තේ නැත්නම් ආයේ මේ paper එකට ලියුවේ නැත්නම් ලකුණු හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. You need to come up with examples. Right? ඔයාලත් මේ ලියන papers වලට examples නැත්නම් ලකුණු නැහැ. Right? So examples ලියන්නේ to show that you know what does the definition means. මම මේ කියන definition එකේ මම describe කරන එකේ තේරුම මම දන්නවා. මේවා තමයි practical implications. ඒක කියන්න ඕන. අන්න ඒකයි examples දෙන්නේ. examples නැතුව නිකන් ගිරව වගේ definition එක කටපාඩම් කරන් ගිහිල්ලා කටපාඩම් හැමාරුවා කියලා ලකුණු හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So you need to show examples to support your statement. Right? So for green entrepreneurship, you can come up with green products, right? Now the green products theme. Green means eco-friendly products. Anything like that? Then may cargo skills or another. Other bags they're on it. Right? Other bags nothing. Shopping bags sold down, shopping bags there as well, right? Apart from shopping bags, they are coming up with what? Cloth bags there on it, right? That are biodegradable bags issue. So that is what we call green entrepreneurship. And maybe have you seen this? In Kiels, I guess, you have a outlet where you can put the plastic bottles. When you put the plastic bottles through it, you get money. And at the end of the plastic bottle like you have to put the plastic bottle through this machine. When you put the plastic bottle through this machine, per bottle you get 20 rupees or something. Like a bottle like rupees bottle. So that is also green entrepreneurship. Why is that? To minimize the polythene, right? Minimize the plastic getting distributed in the environment, right? Plastic environment right? They are coming up with that particular machine. So all you like a bottle like that, all repair behind a combina, like a bottle like right? Clear? Intra-entrepreneurship. What is intra-entrepreneurship? What intra-entrepreneurship you could explain? Intra-entrepreneurship. An employee introducing what? A new product. An employee introducing an innovative product by his own idea. Okay. Yeah, it's correct. Now, for example, we'll take right. Now, for example, we'll take for when it comes to entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship now, Gmail, right? Gmail is also a particular product like that. What is that? My leadership program make again, right? Leadership program now Google was introducing a rule. Pareto analysis the 80-20 rule. Out of the entire workload that you have to do for the day, 8 hours out of the 8 hours that you have to work, you allocate 80% to the business, you allocate 20% to your own passion product, right? While you want passion project 20% allocate them, right? So what happens when Google gives this option to the employees they started to work on their own projects, right? Employees started to work on their own projects. They have own project taking off Gmail, right? Google Mails, Gmails use that. Gmail is a product that came in this way. Business management are these solutions from the management? No. These are from the low level employees. They are coming up with a solution. That is intra-entrepreneurship. The first digital camera. Fuji right? Fuji Kodak, right? The person who worked at Kodak comes up with the first DSLR camera. But company came. Kodak, what do they sell? They sell film. Like film rolls. The film roll like replace digital the Kodak business so they say no. But later on, then Kodak address 2011 with Kodak bankrupt. Now the digital camera is the trend. Okay. So intra-entrepreneurship means the entrepreneurship that forms, right? The entrepreneurship that forms within the organization by an employee. Like employee haraha entrepreneurship intra-entrepreneurship. For example, digital camera from Kodak, it was say, or a sticky note sticker, like examples here, huh? Starlink, Facebook, right? Even Facebook is a global entrepreneurship. It started as a global company, right? The Amazon, like Amazon, Alibaba, AliExpress, but those things also can take as global entrepreneurship. We'll quickly finish this entrepreneurship. Benefits, like when you see the benefits, you can see what benefit do you have if you are an entrepreneur? Wow, entrepreneur what are the benefits? Right? So the individual benefits of entrepreneurship, you can say these things. Right? One is having opportunities to make use of individual abilities. Right? If you have an ability to do some particular thing, right? Creative idea. The creative idea is yours, so you can become an entrepreneur, right? You can get the benefit of your creativity. Now you are not working under someone. You're working for your own self. Why creativity ko automate වැඩ කරන්නේ. Right? So you are working for your own self. So that is individuals using your own skills. Being able to get higher benefits through higher commitment. The more you are committed to your job, the more you are committed to your business, you get your benefits. Creates a social status and acceptance. Right? One day, if you are successful, right? One day when you are successful, you will get a good status in society, right? That about your entrepreneurship. Okay. And having self-satisfaction. What do you self-satisfaction Mama right? I'm not working under someone. I'm working for my own self. A self-satisfaction එක තියෙනවා. උදේට නැගිට්ටම අපෝ කියලා හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? අපෝ අද වැඩට යන්න බෑ. එහෙම හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපෝ අද ජොබ් එකට යන්න බෑ. උඹ මට දෙන්නෙත් මාසෙට 30000යි කියලා එහෙම හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ. Why? Because you are starting your own business, right? You need to come up with your own idea. You are doing it for your own self. ඒතර ඔයා වැඩ කරොත් ඔයාට. right? ඔයා වැඩ කරොත් ඔයාට. ඒ නිසා ඒ බෙනිෆිට් එක ඔයාට තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකින් එන entire profit එකම income එක මොකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. වෙන කාටවත් දෙන්න ඕනද? නැහැ. But when you are doing a job, profit එකෙන් පංගුවක් කාට දෙනවද? නැහැ. You will be getting a salary only, right? So that satisfaction is there. Obtaining personal financial gains, right? So those are benefits. Institutional benefits, you can see there. Being easy to face competition, expansion of business activities, continuous development, expansion of markets, becoming the expertise in the market, right? So those are some institutional benefits. And socio-economic benefits are the creation of new employment opportunities. Now, when you come up with a new type of a production, a new type of production වලට other employees level, right? You need new employees to work on them, right? So you will create new job opportunities. Creation of income opportunities, arising of opportunities to consume new goods and services. Now, when you are innovative, right? When you are innovative and when you are creating a new product, right? You come up with new goods and services. So consumers can consume novelty products, right? All brand new products are consumed කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන එතකොට. Developing the standard of living, using regional resources for production, and development of new markets. So those are some social benefits that you get out of entrepreneurship. Now there can be a question in the exam. How does entrepreneurship contribute towards economic development? Entrepreneurship and economic development. How can this happen? Entrepreneurship acts as a catalyst for the country's economic growth. What is a catalyst? O level science කරානේ කට්ටිය. O level science කරානේ. ආ? paper ලියලා ඊට විතරයි මතක. අන්නේ බං. ආ? What is the catalyst? Varun? I was absent that day. නේ? මම එදා ඉස්කෝලේ ගියේ. What is the catalyst? It speeds up the process, right? Catalyst is something which will speeds up the process, right? Oh. දැන් මෙහෙමනේ මම දැන් මොනවාද කියමුකෝ අහන් ඉඳි නැත්තම් ඇවිල්ලා ගහන. ඒ ගහන්න යනකොට එකෙක් කියනවා මම පේපර් එක දෙත් නැහැ. එතකොට ගහන එක තව වැඩි වෙනවා. So that is the catalyst. Right now. Okay. So increases national production. Now, entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship will increase the GDP of the country by producing new goods and services. So that will lead the economy for the development. Economic development. Then, in other countries, right? USA countries GDP එක වැඩියෙන්ම හදන්නේ කවුද? right? GDP එක වැඩියෙන්ම grow කරන්නේ කවුද? මේ entrepreneurial businesses, right? මේ innovative businesses තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට large scale businesses තමයි එයාලා GDP එක run කරගෙන යන්නේ. Why? Because of their entrepreneurial idea that they had. So for example, then ලංකාවේ මොකක්ද situation එක? ලංකාවේ ලොකු business ද ලංකාව කරගෙන යන්නේ? Which one is the most type of business which contributes to Sri Lankan GDP? It is the SMEs. Small and medium enterprises තමයි ලංකාව drive කරගෙන යන්නේ. But when it comes to other countries, small businesses නෙමෙයි. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට large corporates තමයි ඒ countries run කරගෙන යන්නේ. Okay? Generates employment, right? It expands market, right? You can go into new different markets, right? අලුත් අන්තර්ගත නැති markets තියෙනවා. right? ඒවට යන්න පුළුවන් වලට. And it utilizes the regional resources. Utilizing regional resources means what is that? Regional resource utilize करना කියන්නේ regional resources utilize කරනවා. Regional means what? Local resources. දැන් මීට කලින් අහලවත් නැති වචන වගේ බලන්න එපා. Local resources. මේ ලංකාවේ right? If I am starting a business, I have to use employees from Sri Lanka. I have to use resources from Sri Lanka. මම පිටරටින් employees එක කරලා පිටරටින් මේ resource ගන්නලා වැඩ කරේ. I am using foreign resource. So using local resources is what you call as regional resources. Right? So when I use regional resources, what happens? මම පඩි දෙන්නේ කාටද? To the regional people. So ලංකාවේ ඉන්න කට්ටියම ඒකට benefit වෙන්නේ. Right? So that is what we call using regional resources. When I use regional resources, what happens? When I give them salary, their income increases. When the income, their demand, their living style, right? Their lifestyle will improve. දැන් මාත් ජොබ් එකක්ම නැහැ. එදා වෙලා කන්නත් නැහැ. An entrepreneur gives him a job, right? He is working somewhere. Now he is getting a 100k salary, right? ලක්ෂයක salary එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා. Now what happens to you? Your income increase. Now can you spend? Yes. When you spend, your lifestyle will improve. The lifestyle improvement on the businesses has to be there, and businesses has to give job opportunities to other people. Clear? So that is what we call as entrepreneurship. Right? That is the benefit of entrepreneurship for the economic development. Clear? Right? Okay. Try these questions. Questions, right? There are 11 questions regarding of. Huh?
Yeah.
I will give the paper. You shut up. Man, then no lad then. वो दागन दबा गए तो क्या ना मतलब पेपर देखता हूँ
हाँ देखो
Right, then you will check the answers. Question 1. Personal factors and environmental factors that influence on entrepreneurial development process are given. Out of the above, what could be considered as environmental factors? What are the environmental factors that you have? Personal factors and environmental factors are given. And out of this, you have to find what are the environmental factors related to entrepreneurship. What is the answer? Now, experience is personal. Experience is personal. Education is personal. The vision is personal, right? Vision is personal. We need to find 4 answers next. Where the leadership is personal. 2, 3, 5, and 8. 2, 3, 5, 8. Role models, opportunities, competition, and investors. 2, 3, 5, 8. Answer number is 3. The entrepreneurship occurred through creativeness of employees of an organization is named as intra-entrepreneurship. Intra-entrepreneurship. Third one. From the above, select the combination. From the above, select the combination which includes reason behind the emergence of an entrepreneur. What are those? Willingness to utilize his own capabilities at optimum level. That is correct. Willingness to do something for the society to overcome a social problem. That is also correct. Job experience, willingness to have fixed income, education and training, willingness to minimize risk. Come now. A, B, D and all. Willingness to have fixed income. No. Fixed income in the job again. Job again, fixed income. The experience, the job experience that he had, right? We might able to take that. A, B, C, E. That's the answer. A, B, C, E. The job experience, the A, B, D. D can fixed income. Fixed income job education and training in a special area, that is also correct. A, B, E. Willingness to minimize risk. Willingness to minimize risk is for businessman. Risk entrepreneur risk gun. Right? So you can't take F, right? F is not valid. And it's either C or D. A, B, C, D, D, no? A, B, C, D. A, B, D, E, D, no? D, D, no? Job experience or willingness to have fixed income. Type normally it has to come A, B, D, E, sorry, A, B, C, E, A, B, C, E, right? The job experience. My job experience influence entrepreneurial career influence, right? A, B, C, E, answer type so make the answer A, B, C, E. Right? Well, having a fixed income is stick in right improve right? That is entrepreneur. The person who is willing to take risks to build something of value is called an entrepreneur. A person who within an existing business tries to introduce change and innovation is called uh, person who didn't take risk and build something value is sorry, no. The person who is willing to take risk and build something is called a businessman, right? Businessman. Yeah. Businessman takes risk, but when answer change, a person working within an existing business and tries to introduce change and innovation is called sorry, wait, not businessman. There are three. Businessman. First one is entrepreneur. That first one is entrepreneurship. Second one is economic. Entrepreneurship and economic. Entrepreneur and economic. Sorry. The person who is willing to take risk and build something of value is called entrepreneurship. The person who is in an existing business and introducing change is called entrepreneurship. A personal benefit to an entrepreneur through entrepreneurship is social status and recognition. Social entrepreneurship described as what is the answer? Fourth one, fifth one. Fourth one can go. Anyone who is telling fourth one? Atau salah? Atau هذا bahagia. Wala paham. Paham. Social entrepreneurship is fourth, right? Minimizing and innovating equipment to minimize the fuel consumption. Fifth one is CSR. Fifth one is CSR. Right? There is nothing innovative, right? Innovative, right? If it is entrepreneurship, there has to be something innovative. Innovative. Select the most correct statement from the following. Entrepreneur is a businessman, entrepreneur is a manager, entrepreneur is a professional, entrepreneur is an analyst, entrepreneur is an opportunity seeker. Entrepreneur is an opportunity seeker. Cecil has confidence in his abilities rather than systematic planning. He can initiate and continually operate even difficult tasks. He brings now all ideas to achieve organizational goals. As per the above information, the number of entrepreneurial characteristics Cecil has is confidence in his abilities, systematic planning. He can initiate and continually what? Right, this was it. Confidence is own abilities rather than systematic planning. Yeah, systematic planning confidence is right? So it's confidence. They can continue operate continuously. 1, 2. Is it 2? What is the third one? He brings all ideas, right? He's coming up with innovative ideas, right? Creativity, right? So we can have creativity there, right? Confidence, commitment, and creativity. So that initiate and confidence in his abilities. He has systematic planning. Systematic planning is confidence, he can have commitment. He is having creative ideas. He can initiate and again commitment. Same thing, right? He's starting and continuing. The thing is his commitment, right? So there are three, right? There are three entrepreneurial characters. Which of the following is characteristics of intra-entrepreneurship? Second one, introducing innovative methods of production by creating creative people in the organization. Yes, second one. Which of the following, following are some of the characteristics of a person? What is the option that contain characteristics belong to entrepreneur? Fourth one, CNE, willing to take risks, willing to take challenges. CNE, yes. Entrepreneur generally commences a business with the objective of profit. There are social entrepreneurs which continues with the objective of social welfare. And an entrepreneur uses budget for Dekar. Why does an entrepreneur use budget for? For the monitoring of operations of a business. Right? To monitor the operations of a business, we use the budget. Right? We use financial statements to monitor the performance of the organization. Right? Financial statement is used to monitor the financial performance of the business. The budget is to monitor the operations. I am investing 500,000 to build a business. A 500,000 is Munada Kari. My monetary win, my budget. I have allocated, okay. Then Kadeta ceilings dana. The ceiling my allocate Lakshya. Is it done within this amount, right? May amount to the Pune. Him burn my budgeting, right? So that is why I mean an entrepreneur needs a budget to find the operational performance of his business. Okay. Right. So with that, we'll have a breaks. Kala Bila, apa kala dua lagi? Ah, kala Bila ikman dua lagi na? Ekolah aja na? Ah, okay. Ah, ekolah kala aja na? Pepe kadin. Right. So we'll continue the meeting after this one. After the interval, come at 11:15. Use the same link. My schedule kala din same link in main na. Right. Okay. So we'll move on to the next area, that is regarding small business. Earlier, let's write the previous part from regarding the entrepreneurship, and now the next area is regarding small. And look, who is up next in the game, right? Lessons there in a similar was the right for you, but differential piece. Okay. Now, what is a small business? What's a small business? Even every entrepreneurship will start from a small business, right? Entrepreneurship product ladder, small business now, a small business is a venture, a business activity, which is not dominant in the industry, right? Industry is located dominant in industry is located and maybe you don't have enough power in the industry to control it, right? A business where you don't have enough power to control a business. For example, take a biscuit company, right? Take a biscuit company. The Melbourne making, right? From tomorrow onwards, Melbourne. Melbourne gold. Melbourne degree, Melbourne gold, Melbourne gold, right? One degree, right? Gold marriage, price set. Thank you, gold marriage. I can see one. Okay, we'll say 100 rupees. We'll say gold market. See. Tomorrow, the company decides to increase it up to 120. Or not increase, we'll say decrease. See either 90 or decrease. Now, Lorraine is also selling biscuits. Lorraine is getting homemade biscuits. Lorraine ಯಾರು ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಸೀನ ಹತ್ತರ ಅಡುಗೆ how low effect actually how effective low Lorraine is a small scale quantity of management is a large scale business monthly management ಯಾರಿಗೆ prices ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ market effective compare to what small businesses does. Those are large enterprises. When monthly decreases prices, we also have to decrease. Why? So that effect is there. So can you now influence the market? Can Lauren influence the market? No, you can't influence. Why? You don't have the enough influencing power to the market since you are a small business. Or like a senior can. Like a small business for a senior can. But political party influences, political influence in the net. But when a major company changes something, it will completely change the game. Got it? So small business is one that is independently owned and independently operated, but not gain any in the field. Industry का होने लगा था यार लोगों पाएगा नहीं. So characteristics if you see, the market is smaller. Now if you are already selling biscuits, she will be selling some around the area. Okay. Entire निगम हुआ नहीं. यार करने यार के पैसे यार एक पावर बिजनेस कितने यार था. यार बिजनेस कितने यार था. वो निगम को मैं सप्लाई करने. So very small now. Low invested capital. Right. The market cap is very low. We can pay. Construct सारी invest करने दिना की निकल बड़ा कर. Few employees. Lorraine and one or two people will be there. Right. Employees are there, maybe 10, 15 employees in the company. It would happen. So those are small businesses. Less financial obligations and less use of technology. Biscuits suddenly machines so those are the characteristics you can see when it comes to small. The small business people don't always think about other micro industries में करने का small business के लिए दत्त मार्जिन में so okay मतलब anything handling एक handling का small business even this institute this is small business अभी मुझे change institute के change करा किया अभी institute चल लोगों का effective है मैं मुझे change करा के लोगों को effective होता है because this is a small institute but there are some large scale institutes like when Lanka mentioned we have large scale institutes too they are not change करो यार एक आपने follow किया तो ये आगे यार ने follow किया main institute के लिए follow किया when you are the market can change so and if you are starting small businesses and small business start can take a easy to start easy to start a small business is and तुम्हारे पढ़ाई करना फोटो ले गया कॉल कर गया फोटो ले गया हमारे उससे ना कॉल किया अराध में बेटी के अंदर का सेल करना क्लीनिंग पाइप्स है माफ करें पाइप कितना माफ कर हाँ पाइप लाइन है अभी आनंद ओ यार आंकड़े पाइपलाइन है बहुत सारी चीजें पाइपलाइन है और इसे आंकड़े पाइप आंकड़े बना दिया नया निकाल में बुल वगैरह की ना है कि राइट बिकॉज़ स्ट्रिक्स वगैरह की बिकॉज़ बुल लग रही है they take it to make flowers and ornamental flowers so this what is this nothing pipeline है मोटा है मोटा है मेरा आप सारे pipeline right माल का धंधा है के से ना बोला क्या so that is a small business right so you can start from tomorrow but keeping it for the long run is a problem right now one of my friends makes candles it is on that they are kind wax skin like that okay wax skin दराज़े मोल्ड आने ना अच्छो दराज़े की करना आर एक्चुअली उधरला आर एक्चुअली उधरला सेंटे उधरना बड़ी अदना बड़ी माल लगे कैंडल्स बस आए नाताल डाल दिमा क्रिसमस ट्री का ये कैंडल्स so those are small businesses what a small scale में those are micro business WhatsApp पे कार्ड सेल करना है मतलब, right? Instagram के लिए सेल करना है. Small business है तो इतना डिफरेंट लोग. Like small business करते तो maybe employees ला 10,000 people, right? Employees 10,000 can small. According to census, this one great thing ना. हमें great question है. According to census and statistics, for a small business, what is the employee limit? Huh? Employee limit क्या होना? Right? Employees limit on a small business. There has been a maximum of 25. Right? There are 25 employees. Right? There is less than 25 employees. The census and statistics considers it as a small business. Right? Small business. Consider. Now, power. Alloy criteria still. Sit. According to Industrial Development Board. According to Industrial Development Board, if you have invested less than 4 million, if you have invested less than 4 million, we are considering it as a small business. Whether visible business na? Yeah? Micro business. Right? Micro businesses, small businesses, medium scale businesses, large businesses. Now we are learning about micro, small, and medium scale business, not about large. Right? So in these businesses, you can see the market cap is small, there is less investment capital. The number of employees are very low. There is less financial applications and less use of technology. So when you want to start a small business, you have to consider these things. One is your own talent. Then available. Yeah, malah ada dikira pipeline ada pipe basket malah ada dikira sih, right? You know, right? So pipelines. Now, when okay, done. What do you give it? Ini kalau sering kan? Ina dan tamu mungkin malah aja beratnya. Makin after kurusnya malah katakan yang malah yang dua mereka malah kita lagi. Ini mungkin can you sell it? No, like ada candle katakan ini barang yang mana candle satu apa candle mereka zero lah kan? And maybe like ribbon nanti flower bouquet sama nanti, dia kan trend dia. So, ini ada nanti එක මලක් අට ගන්න පැයක් විතරයි. එතකොට you don't have the talent. You have to make sure you have the necessary skills for the talent to do whatever the business that you are starting. Talent එක නැත්නම් ඒක ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඉගෙනගෙන පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඉගෙන ගන්න කලින් කොහොම කරන්නේ? You have to study. Available market and accessibility. Then you got all that is right. අපි හදන මේ products මිනිස්සු ගන්නවාද කියන එක බලන්න. Right, availability of the marketplace. Sometimes maybe you start a business that nobody moves. Right? Or other business product start of wow, very right? You saw this in a foreign country. So you want to start it here as well. No one wants. So it's not gonna be successful. Initial capital requirement is low, right? So you have to think about the initial capital. Do you have the money? Business the thing is, when you start a business, you need to have money for at least 6 months. At least. Sale business you see, well, personal experience again that thing. Now when it comes to the period, right? In that area, every day a new shop pops. And telling money, yeah, conquer out of that. Master night. When I like it, I get an idea. Master night, they got it. Why? As soon as you start business, you will not get flooded with sales. Sales very nice. So you have to business is mature, right? You have to get it mature. You have to business mature. Then only the people has to know your business. Then only people come. Your product has to be good. Until the business is stable, you need to have WIP. What is it? WIP, WIC. Working capital. WC next. Working capital. WIP. Work in progress. Working capital. Right. Working capital. Right. Working capital क्या for the daily expenses. Business is again right. You can't generate money out of business. Why? The business is new. People still don't know about your business. So you need good working capital for your business. Unless you can invest money, you can't run it. Right? Why? It's already there. Business का आता है ना ना पठान का गमन अनिद्रा से सेल का सेल ना ये का अंदर right? तो आता पठान का अंदर का सेल नहीं है अनिद्रा सेल का क्या है काले क्या है तो इतना लगा नहीं है right? Initial capital requirement and the existing companies. If I start a business today, what about the competition? Market is all the they again business karani. What does they do? Right? What can I do to differentiate myself from them? Right? Lorraine pipeline the polymer sell. So what can Lorraine do instead of Harshit, right? Harshit करना हम तो मतलब ना करना पूरा additional features, मतलब ना पूरा additional features के बाद that is a factor that has to be considered, right? Right. So then, apart from small scale businesses, now we are seeing what is the contribution that they, right? From the characteristics, now we are going to the contribution that they give. These businesses are labor intensive and they create widespread employment opportunities, helping to reduce unemployment. Now, I read a report or an article, right? I read an article regarding this small scale businesses. It says in Sri Lanka, around 51 to 61% of the businesses are small scale businesses. Lanka, I think the businesses were GDP, right? The businesses that contribute to the GDP are small scale businesses. And body businesses Lanka large scale businesses and they directly contribute to the growth of the national product by effectively utilizing local resources. They promote regional development, which minimizes the problem of urbanization. But right? People coming to the city, right? People coming to the city or villages getting developed into cities, right? So there can be problems. By creating jobs in rural areas, this also assists in minimizing unequal income distribution. So unequal income distribution, how can we solve it? They come by collecting taxes and by providing subsidies. Another, by providing job opportunities. By providing job opportunities, by utilizing local resources, you can eradicate unequal income distribution. Now, for example, is Kotmale ice cream Kotmale cream. Now, Kotmale, they buy milk from farmers in rural areas, right? And they allocate farms to me. When an individual farms line, right? Again, goes the farmer. Marina Dina, hard party, right? Marina Dina, hard party. They get some, no, here they have a right? Yeah, right. Another attack in Mars, right? There is someone like Kiliamagas. She is an individual farmer who is farming in somewhere, some in a rural area, right? My rural area, क्या farm है? But cattle farming है. Now, carcass, when they want milk, they buy from that particular cattle farm. What do they get is, those are people in villages, in rural areas. These targets, those are large scale companies. These large scale companies pay small businesses to get raw materials to their business. Now, those are targets in production can study per day, right? Per day, they spend around I can remember that it is 3.5, 3.6 million or 36 million, right? That amount of money goes to the village per day, right? The hospital is not city in the village area, farms. The farmers lifestyle developed because of farms. And this corporate, right? That happens. So what is that? Small scale businesses, when they give raw materials to large scale businesses, small scale businesses get benefited from financial terms. So that means they can improve their lifestyle. Okay. And targets is very farm and garden. Pullo. They right? Right? They buy it from the small, right? Small farm models. Okay, so that's the thing. They have a support system for the broad economy by supplying raw materials and finished goods to large scale industries by engaging in specific business affairs. Reasons for the success of small and medium scale business. Why does small and medium scale business succeed? One is availability of infrastructure, right? To success. Having good infrastructure will lead your business to a success. And if you have tax reliefs, right? Tax reliefs business again. Success you can expand markets, right? Strong managerial skills of the owners and enthusiasm of businessmen. Those are success factors. Failure factors you can see financial issues. Then would have going to deal. Now, if you check TikTok and those, right? TikTok, Instagram, make sure it's not a serious. Financial discipline. About the financial discipline. Someone starts a small business, right? There is a need to show I got successful at a young age. How much successful you are better? iPhone car full cash full cash right? Business again, salary right? As you get some money from the business, what do? You want to show off. You get the vehicle. Then was a lease again, right? Lease again, here, pass it here, car, I bought a car. Thank you, my business. I got successful. I all business done. Now the phase is successful validate. You can. The thing is, you need to have discipline. Business you keep on investing into the business. You keep on investing. You run the business through the businessman. Start pocket money right? Start pocket money and then when you do the sales, you generate a cash flow. Then you have to keep the cash flow inside the business. As soon as you take money out, car bike phone personal development business cash flow business cash flow then I'm buy ticket car you can buy the car, you can buy the bike at a later stage, right? Carnage video what they will car South Korea puzzle. After 10 years, there are car and the car and the plan. Ganda command. I got the Pulu. He had got the Pulu, but Gattene, he kept on investing in his own business. Like a cash flow business protected. Right? I don't know. The company show up current one give here I know I now even I had a friend
නේද මේ එනිහට ඔන්න right task කරන්න. Even you want to start at doing tuition classes. Okay. Now what to get out. He had the perception. You know, he had a couple of friends, he has a couple of students. He already did the task with right? He had a perception. If I have a car, students will come. Idea, right? එයා ජොබ් එකක් කරනවා. right? ජොබ් එකක් කරාම එයා කියනවා මට ජොබ් එකෙන් 80ක් විතර හම්බ වෙනවා. right? ජොබ් එකෙන් 80ක් විතර හම්බ වෙනවා. මම part time class එකක් කරනවා. right? class එක දැන් එයා එදෙටම කියලා කරන්නේ එයාගේ විතර ඒවා ගන්න right? class එක මම කරනවා. class එක කරද්දී class එකේ income එකෙන් මම මගේ විදිහට ඒක බලා ගන්නවා. car එකට මම job එකෙන් ගිහුවා. Now if anything wants to buy a car, the lease itself, right? The lease itself is 80,000 per month. Every month, the lease for the car is also 80,000. Can you agree now? Job करना पड़ेगा. ऐसे भी पहले क्या ना? I will pay the entire amount to the lease. Class का अगर पहले हम ना class का पहले हम ना हम एक कार के लिए ट्यूब कर लगा है ना हम ना एक मिलेगा. नहीं class का लेकिन एक करा
Going single, right?
Huh?
Going single, right?
No.
This is a congratulations.
What? Nah?
Yeah, bro is single.
Which bro?
You single.
No. You know Shehan? Right. Okay.
Okay.
Here's right. Now, final discipline කරන්න. එයා කියනවා මේ සරලිකරන කායයට කියනවා. ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්න සාකේ මගේ විදිහටයි. මල්ටි වුඩ් ගන්න අනන්තවලදී. දැන් එකම එක තාම නෑ. නැතුව තමයි මේ කියන්නේ. මම අනිත් පැත්තට කතා කරන්න දෙයක් කිව්වා. Then Hillary he wants to get married also. Right? He wants to look after his family also. He wants to yeah, he got married. Right? It was a place එකක් දෙනවා. අම්මාට ඉරනවා ඕක කරන්න එපා. නෑ I want to start right. She never thought about other factors. වාහනයක් ගත්තම ලීස් එක විතරද ගෙවන්න ඕන? You need money for fuel. You need money for repairs. You need money for insurance. අනම් මොනවද පැච් එකක් ගහගන්නකො. පැච් එක දාන්න බරගන්න කරන්න ඕකේ. ටයර් එක මාරුවෙන් ගියාම වපු කොට දෙන්න වෙනවා. right? ඒව සාලි නෑ. අර මොනවද කියන්නේ? අර ඒ දේව බලන්න සාලි පොඩ්ඩක් මම කිව්වම අපිට අර පොඩ්ඩක් ෂෝ ඔෆ් කරනවා. in case එකක් ට්‍රයි කරගත්තා නම් පැත්තට ඉර යනවා අම්බානේ. right? So that means you need to have your financial discipline when you are starting a small business. ඕනකට වඩා අර luxury items, unwanted items වලට සම්බන්ධ කරන්න එපා. මොකද තමන්ගේ business එකේ වරදක්. තමයි business එක අස්සම හරි රොටේට් කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ later you can go for other items. ඒ practice එක දාගෙන එකකින් හය stories කියලා බලන්න. ඒ stories වලින් මම අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන් යාර මොකද යාර සල්ලි. ඊළඟ දේ සල්ලි කොහෙසම ගන්න තේරෙයි. Now, reason for the change is financial issues. Inability to face competition. Right? Inability to face competition is also occur. ඕනකට competition එකයි. මෙයා 100 දෙනකොට මෙයා 90 දෙනවා. දැන් ආවෝ මෙයා 90 දෙනවා 90 දෙනවා. ඕනකට prices අඩු කරන්න. Price අඩු කරනවා do you have the profit margin? Price අඩු කර when you want to succeed, price අඩු කරන එකම හැමතිස්සෙම හරියන්නේ. Right? Price අඩු කරන එක හැමතිස්සෙම හරියන්නේ. You need to give a better quality product. Right? වාගේ price එක වයින්න. Right? වාගේ price එක තියාගෙන ඉන්න. වාගේ customers ලැබෙන. Right? අර අඩුවට කරනවා මෙයා අඩුවට කරනවා කියලා පක්කේ જાય. අඩුවට කරනවා ආය ඔයාලට නෙමෙයි. product එක. Right? Now for example මේක marketing වලට කරන එක paracetamol passive. The difference, like passive and passive. මට හරියටම price rates හදන්න නැහැ. when Panadol, sorry, not Panadol. Panadol is Panadol and Panadol, right? When Panadol was in the market, Panadol set the rupiah, right? Panadol set the right. Panadol set the rupiah set the panahai. Panadol set the rupiah set the panahai. Odu kayak mana kali dia purna ada? Dekak pun. Itu rupiah dia kena ada? Punah dia. When Capsitol came to the market, ya lagi dua. Bala ada rupiah punah kan? Rupiah dekik bade kan? Abi betul dekik. Rupiah kan? අපි පෙත්තක් දෙන්න රුපියල් ගන්න. පැස්ලෝ කනඩෝල එකයි 1.50යි. අපි දෙන්නේ රුපියල් ගන්න. වටහා. මොනවද? මිනිස්සු කනඩෝල ගන්න පැස්ලෝ ගන්න. Panadol is 1.5. Paracetamol is 1. 1 rupee. කවුද මොනවද ගත්තේ? පැස්ලෝ ගත්තද කනඩෝල ගත්තද? Panadol. Why? Sugar and medicine. Our perception is බෙහෙත් එකේ ගාන වැඩි වෙන්න බෙහෙත් එක හොඳයි. බෙහෙත් එකේ ගාන අඩු වෙන්න බෙහෙත් එකේ ගාන බෙහෙත් එක quality. That is our perception, right? What did Panadol do was Panadol එකයි පටන් තිබෙත් එකයි 70 කරනවා. අර එක දෙනා ගිහුවම එකයි 70 කරනවා. ගාන වැඩි කරනවා. එයා මොනවද කරේ? අර එක දෙනාට එකට අනුව කරේ නැහැ. මම වැඩි කරා කියලා. වැඩි කරේ වැඩි කරලා sales තිබ්බා. The reason is people thought medicine when the expensive it is good. When the cheap it is bad. So because of that Panadol succeeded, Paracetamol failed. Right? The Paracetamol are Paracetamol is the medical name. Paracetamol, Panadol is a brand name. Paracetamol the difference is the brand name. Paracetamol is a brand name, Panadol is a brand name. But the medical name is Paracetamol. Right? Okay, so in order to succeed businesses, right? In order to have successful businesses, government will give you some help. Right? Government will provide you some incentives to conduct small and medium scale businesses successfully. We'll see what are those. Monetary incentives and non-monetary incentives. Right? In order to conduct some businesses successfully, the government will give you monetary and non-monetary incentives. What are those? Short-term loans, financial incentives, tax incentives, refinance. What is refinancing? Okay, what is refinancing? Anyway, what is refinancing? Mona, what is refinancing? Harshin, refinance करना क्या हुआ? हाँ, और क्या हुआ? What is refinance? हाँ? Financing करना finance तो. Now, for example, let's say, Ravi takes a farm. Right? Ravi takes a farmer. She has obtained 1 million rupee as a loan from a bank. Due to the floods, she couldn't house. Right? Due to the floods, she couldn't house. Now the bank is asking for the money. Loan like that. Now the government, what do they do is, the government will pay the loan to the bank. The government will pay the loan to the bank, and then the government will arrange another loan to refinance this. The government taking a loan to give you pay the 1 million in small amounts, right? Other interest rate, the government and all over can arrange for them, right? She has to pay back the money, and you still have to pay back the money, but to the DOC. right? और HND के लोड नहीं करते BOC के HND के लोड नहीं गिरो it was say well then BOC के गिरो at a lower interest rate for a long period of time. That is refinance basically, right? Now government bank and BOC can the BOC के क्या लोड नहीं गिरो तो गिरो कब से बिना दे BOC के गिरो so that is what refinancing is. No. But many businesses take that, right? That is refinance. The concept is refinance. Woda kira farms कर दूँगा उधर हमने तो याद है नहीं crop से woda energy नहीं woda farms कर हो गया. And non-monetary incentive you can see consultancy services, entrepreneurial development programs, research and technology services, quality items. So those are non-monetary incentives. Okay, so that's all about small and medium enterprises. Do the questions now. Take your time and do the questions. Answers there. Here you have 12 questions, right? The last one you have 12 questions. ऐसे वाले question दोबारा देना. अकबर. The independence of making decisions, right? You can have that as well. Easy to comments, okay. Ability to expand markets, right? And the big one, the big one. Australia is a radio movement is not done. But making them done, you can shift markets, you can expand your markets, you can write about them. Clear? Clear? Okay. And then another point is, okay, the next question. Ceremony, right? Ceremony established the firm by investing 50,000 to produce ladies' handbag, cups, and other ornamental products using banana fiber, which is widely available in an area. She recruited three employed females from her area, paying 800 per day after providing training on given products. Also, arrangements have been made to the market the product at tourist farmers. Give the social and economical benefits of this business. Social and economical benefits nothing due to this business. Ceremony starting a business using banana fiber. He is employing three females. He is marketing them to the tourists. What is the economic and social benefit? He is producing eco-friendly product by using indigenous resources, locally available resources. I can write about this. She is using employees, right? She is using three female employees, so that will improve their income, right? It will improve their living standards. There will be fair income distribution. You are using it to promote tourist hotels, right? So that means you can market it to foreign countries. You can market the local brand to a foreign country. It generates high income, like so there you will have high income. Okay. It is using banana fiber due to that. What happens? The social impact it is nature friendly, biodegradable. It is nature friendly, biodegradable, environment friendly. You can talk about that. Those are the points. So go over to Australia. Right? Point Australia. Watch it. मैं और में जा मैं और में जा Yo, 12:58. Now we're gonna have explain the importance of small and medium enterprises for social economic transformation and why do we need small and medium enterprises for this country? To grow the GDP. Then, so employment of the calling keyword take right? Calling keyword take mainly part of it. Amar part of it like the same take is rolled over and over and over and over. Right? Other employment opportunities, GDP or support karna, right? Using global resources. The same tape can be rotated again and again. मेरे पे तुमने कहा और नहीं किया नहीं हम और दिन महाल दिन एक हमारा क्वेश्चन है का एक मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन का हाल दिन वो पीछे बोलता फिनस there is a pattern same thing अब ये है माय मॉडल पे बात ना मॉडल पे के हाल दिन क्वेश्चन बात करने पड़ता है बात करना मॉडल पे के हाल दिन के लिए बात करना है Describe 4 strategies that can be used to attract customers by small scale retailers who have faced severe competition. For a business who has faced competition, severe competition, what are the factors that we can use? What are the tricks that you can use to attract customers? How can you attract customers for the business? Competition giving basic. You do business, right? आज वाला business कर रहे हैं all competition के पर all and discount देना right? All over like all business करने how do you attract customers? You provide some value addition like and business value addition that's the best solution. Those are sales promotions. So you can provide sales promotion things, can add value to your product.
So then can have technique about your production sector. तो कहते सर आगे ना कोटी बाहर की मतलब लोग के काम कर
Sales promotion, right? So price under those kind of sales promotion. Value addition. Then again differentiate your product differentiation. अरे यार मेरे product टेक मॉडल ये product टेक फिनांस के लिए product टेक ले लो, right? Product differentiation, right? You can go for differentiation. Then attractive advertisements, yes, right? To attract customers, you are giving good advertisements. Maintain the product quality. So those are some what do you call activities that you can do to attract customers. Well, that's it. Huh? No attraction at all. TikTok them end का मैंने ट्यूशन सर मैसेज करना मेरा आर्ट करके कौन डिजाइन करे like I don't know someone from when I am starting geography classes and please teach me how to do the graphic design. You know मागे एक हुआ उठाने से हटा करके तो उधर मागे वीडियो बना करनी एक मार then another क्लासेस की सारी ना इंग्लिश सर की ना क्या कभी कहीं मार पे इंग्लिश में नहीं आएगा वहां तार का बनाने पहला क्या थोड़ा बहुत मन बोलने था हमने मान ली मेरे वो में क्लास इनमें कर करते और व्हाइट बोर्ड देता है सेटअप कर जाते हैं वो क्लासरूम में गेटर द क्लासरूम तो ये दे आप कॉलिंग नासिंग हमने इतना का देखिएगा लेट अगर ऐसे ये तो क्या बताते हैं मतलब बड़ा खता है उसी और है ना मास अकेडमी का तीन का था और ना ये Ruslan.
Oh.
Even he called. He called and asked me to come and do business studies there.
Reserve.
Okay, how like I get my guess. Right? Okay. Well, so පැත්තම අතු ගන්න වුණා. Right. Most small businesses fail. What are the reasons? Reasons for the small business failures?
Financial issues.
Financial issues. Other than that, total zero is not there. Point other mention there. What are the financial issues? Right? Not having proper financial discipline, right? Not having idea to read financial statements, inability to prepare financial statements, right? Lack of capital to do the business, right? Those are financial issues. And then poor management skills, right? Poor managerial skills. Entrepreneurs having lack of management and experience, right? Or not having a proper management board, right? Management board of businesses fail. Right? Doesn't know how to promote businesses, quality issues, right? Quality issues, due to legal issues, fail, right? And the only end. Opening hours, opening hours failed as the reason, right? Oh, right? But later, opening hours financial issues, lack of entrepreneurial skills, lack of managerial skills. A little bit strong, right? And opening hours can be a gentle value. You're right, but in the 10th class, you get sales promotion activity. Sales promotion activities to that, not really good. Price up करना, discount देना, right? For product quality कड़ी करना, ये अठारह पाँच है. अठारह पाँच होने देखा quality was that. Okay. We can wind up the. So we are finishing. Organization and small businesses. The next lesson is money and finance will be starting in February. And it's a little bit lengthy. Okay. So Suhail and let me make sure to do the papers and let me have it. Harsh is doing the paper. And Suhail, PDF Sadala, okay, with that you can write. Thank you and